They see what's popping with the population. We on. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a pleasure having you in. I go by the name of L'Esprit. I am a spiritual healer. And technically, as a spiritual healer, what I do is that I assist other people in becoming whole, meaning it's the whole idea of you aligning your mind, body, and soul. But for you to do that, it's crucial and vital for you to understand, your emotions, how they come about, their patterns, blockages, and we all have blockages, and also understanding your intellectual conditioning, which is your mind control, your perspective, your intellect, and for those two to come together, you would have to be in accordance with them. Meaning, you not only that you understand the way that they work, but you are able to successfully, have them in harmony. Because generally speaking, depression, anxiety, and all this kind of bullshit, or even what you call toxicity, right, is a person lack of alignment between their emotions and their intellect, or vice versa. But again, that's pretty much what I do as a spiritual healer. And now, if you're coming back, you already know, get a plate. You know what I'm saying? It's always a holy communion. We're going to do what we do. hmm Tonight, we're going to keep it light. You know what I'm saying? We got our little thing here. Come on now. You know I got it. You know what I'm saying? That's how we're going to throw down. So, now, the tool that I actually use for me to do my job, as a spiritual healer, is spirituality. And especially if this is your first time, even if it's not, I like to reinforce the idea of what spirituality is to a lot of people. Because quite often we have, like a perception of what spirituality is, which is totally not it at all. Generally speaking, people think when you talk about spirituality, it's far distant from you. It's in the stars. It's not on Earth. It's none of that. And again, another way people look at it, it's religion. Now, if they don't say it's religion, they're telling you at this point those are just belief systems when you're talking about spirituality. And that is not the case at all, because spirituality simply is the story of the spirit, which is the story of yourself. So in the occult, technically, what we're doing when you're studying the occult is pretty much giving you a deeper understanding of who you are, due to the complexity, due to the world of illusion that we are actually living in. So therefore, you need to dig a little bit deeper into the person that you are, and that's what the occult does pretty much. So it's nothing that the occult is not. It's not like it's doing something that's outside of the norm. No, it's giving you a proper understanding of your day to day life. For instance, they would tell you, you know what, you have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind. All this bullshit that they're telling you, essentially, is to, once you understand that, you have a better, or to become the master of your mind. However you want to look at it, it all comes down to you having a deeper understanding of who you are. You're already that. And as you delving into the mystery of who you are, then you realize that you are spirit. You know what I'm saying? Like, even your body, then you realize your body is not even as physical as it appears to be. Although we tend to look at our body as a physical or material, or as matter. Do you see what I'm saying? Because when you start delving more into, even the study of the body in itself is just fucking amazing. You have different bodies. You have your astral body, your etheric body. All of that is part of this body. Within this body, your auric or aura, whatever the fuck the terminology is. But the point is, then you realize that, you know what I'm saying, and then you could change your DNA as you upgrade, like then you realize there's a direct connection between your consciousness and your body. In fact, a lot of people now are telling you, you could change your DNA, you could change this, not because your mom had this or your dad had this, let's just say were diabetic, it doesn't mean you automatically subject to it. You could change and, and a lot of people are backing that shit up. Again, they're simply showing you, that your body is simply an extension of your consciousness. You see what I'm saying? And here's something else too. There's a book called The Absent Body. This gentleman did an excellent job. In so many words, they're showing you, even like, I'm not sure if I mean, I guess they're saying the absent body, not necessarily to say that your body doesn't exist, but it's like, think about it this way, right? If you're driving on a highway, generally speaking, when you're in that state of mind, you don't really think about your body. Or you may feel like, let's just say something happened, you may even jump. Right? But your body's still here. But if you were, that's why when they telling you, you gotta center yourself, what you're doing is you're bringing your consciousness into your body. You're making your body physical, present, right here, right now. So again, this is just to show you the complexity of who we are. So when we're talking about the occult, we're talking about you being a fucking spirit. There's nothing that's outside of this world. It's your day-to-day shit. It's you fucking having a drink. It's you taking a shit. It's that simple. Then everything else derived from it. Even if we're talking about religion, we created religion. You want to talk a belief system, but there you go. Is there anything that we have not created? Even your gods. You know what I'm saying? And I know all of my Christians, sometimes you like to generalize your God like it's everybody's God, it's the best God. Nigga, please. Not the case at all. But I get it because it was pushed down on you that way. So therefore you are projecting that, to other people, not understanding that, the whole idea was to conquer you. And now, just like you were conquered, well, you're looking to conquer other people. That's understandable. I got you. I get you. I get it. I get it. I get it. But anyway, I'm saying all of that to say that when it comes to spirituality, this is who you are. It's your birthright. It's a baby being born who have not lifted a finger yet. This is the spirit, in so many ways that will unfold itself, by learning how to walk, whatever the fuck. This is all spiritual. It's all mental. But anyway, now with all of that being said, now that we know what spirituality is, it's not outside of yourself. It's not religion. It's not a belief system. It's just pretty much who you are, right? Now, on Wednesdays, like I promised to you guys, I always talk about the masculine and the feminine energy. Well, that's what I'm going to do tonight, niggas. You know what I'm saying? So, now, this is another part of your spirituality as well. Because gender, when we talk about gender, right, it goes beyond male and female. That's why if you ever study the Kabbalion, when they talk about gender, they're telling you, if you're looking for dick and pussy, that's not what this shit is about here. It's about understanding that the masculine and the feminine is about understanding the masculine and the feminine energy and how they interact with one another. Do you see what I'm saying? And I'll give you a perfect example, right? Now, shit, I said to myself I was going to leave that shit alone, but shit, nigga. Well, you know what? I am living it alone. Think about this, right? Okay, I'm not gonna call out no names, right? So you never see how people tells you, you see a man that has a great woman and all that shit. She's taking care of the house, and then somehow the niggas still want to have a hoe, right? But the hoe, like a lot of people, unfortunately, you not looking at it in terms of the masculine and feminine energy, because the masculine always need that feminine energy for it to truly function. Do you see what I'm saying? And like I always tell people, if you're confused about gender role and don't understand how vital that is, look at gay people, because I think gay people is the perfect depiction of gender roles. They show you how important the masculine and feminine energy is. And if you're going to have any type of harmony, those two got to go hand in hand. Meaning, when you see two lesbians, right, there's going to be a doughboy, and then there's going to be the feminine one. On the flip side of it, the gay guys, same shit. You're going to see the masculine one, who's the masculine one, and then who's the feminine one. And here they are having the same sex, but yet, they are still showing you how vital, because especially if you're going to come to sex, any type of connection. You know what I'm saying? It's important for you to have the masculine and the feminine energy. Now, as a disclaimer, I always like to say this. Of course, what I do here is not about dick and pussy. If you're looking for, let's just say, to dominate another sex, if you're looking for the battle between the sexes, you came in the wrong spot, player. We play differently over here. You know what I'm saying? I play the game. I play to win. We're not playing to lose over here. We all players, but we're playing the games differently. And the term player comes into it because you got to understand how to dance, how to play, how to communicate. Because if you're dealing with the feminine energy, but again, where I differ from other people is that they're probably telling you how to, I don't know, dominate, how to have people chasing after you. Like, for the life of me, like, I can never, like, what the fuck? Think about it, right? So if you're saying to yourself you are the prize, right? So therefore they should chase after you, right? Now, if you're the prize, don't you want somebody who is also the prize? Do you see what I'm saying to you? I mean, I would imagine you should. Because if I'm the prize, I'm not the prize just for people to chase after me, but I want somebody that's valuable too. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, you wouldn't want somebody to chase you because you would need to show reciprocity as well. So if you're the prize, then somebody else should be the prize for you as well. So if you only the prize and that other, it's like you're not truly the prize then. You're playing yourself. In fact, this is the type of reaction that comes from a low self-esteem. Just like people who are playing, who are lying to people. They're lying because they have a low self-esteem. A lot of people are liars because they build a wall. I don't want you to know how I'm feeling. I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to do all of these things. So that's not. I don't play that. That's that shit. That shit don't add up on this side. So this is for my true players. You know what I'm saying? Who truly love. Now, who's learning how to. You gotta know how to communicate, because as genders, I mean, as us being spirit, we are expressing ourselves, through the genders as well. Now, understand this, even you as a masculine energy, you also have feminine energy inside of you as well. Now, obviously, it's not going to be as much as, let's just say, a feminine energy, because essentially that's what she is. Now, essentially, that's you being a masculine energy. That's who you are. That's your essence. However, yes, that's the yin and the yang. When you look at the symbol, right, it shows you the black part has a little bit of, I mean, the white part is actually the feminine that has a little bit of dark. And then the dark part, which is the masculine, has a little bit of dark in it. That's the harmony. Meaning, when we talk about the masculine and the feminine energy, the purpose is that they complement one another, not competing with one another. So it's important for you to understand that. That's why, what I'm saying, how would you have a union if you are competing against one another? A union means they complement each other. They come together. But for them to come together, the feminine has to be fully activated and the masculine has to be fully activated. And that's the mutual attraction. Just like in this gay relationship, they would have to activate, what I'm saying? Like the gay guy that have that femininity in him, he would have to activate that a little bit more. And vice versa. For the bitch now who trying to act like a nigga, she's going to have to activate that nigga side more in her. Protecting her bitch. Yo, what's up, baby? You know what I'm saying? Hey, shout out to all my, whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? This is not coming at you at all, motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. So, that's why it's important for you, let's just say if you're masculine energy, you got to understand how to deal with the feminine energy. And obviously vice versa, right? Mm. All right, got to make sure I get this thing going here. You feel me? I'm saying spirits coming through. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, now that we have established, in so many words, gender role, and I'm not referring to, let's just say, who's washing the dishes, who's doing this, gender role, whatever the fuck you want to define it, I'll leave that up to you. But the point and the matter is this: it's like for to have a union, for them to polarize or come together, the masculine, and that's what the gay couple is showing you, although they have same sex. Now, to get back to my disclaimers, so, it's a part of you. A relationship or the union, it's a part of you. With that being said, especially as a masculine energy, you must know your purpose. And why is that, right? Well, your purpose as a masculine energy allows you to open up, right? Like I tell, like, because I realized, because I was talking to a friend of mine, and I realized, a lot of people sometimes it's the same idea. That's why I was telling him, you never put your girl first. You put yourself first. But a lot of people don't understand what that means. They tend to look at it, their first reaction, especially if you don't know what I'm talking about, is going to be you thinking I'm telling you to be selfish. That is not the case at all. Mm-mm. It is the same idea as, you know, you cannot love nobody else without you loving yourself. And there's nothing selfish about that at all. Because you loving yourself, it allows you to open up. It allows you to value your feelings, your intuition, your you know what I'm saying, yourself, you know what I'm saying. It allows you to value you, and only when you value you, you can value other people. That's just the way it is. You see, in life, that's why if you learn about the seven hermetic principles, they're all laws. And those laws are pretty much, I mean, that's where I'm saying my players. You got to know how to play. There are codes in life. If you need certain things, you can't just grab it. You got to do something else for you to get this. That's how it works. That's what the codes are. If you want to love yourself first. Because it allows you not only to have a higher self-esteem, but to truly admire whoever you're going to be with for their qualities too. Because a quality person seeks for qualities in other people. If you don't see no values in you, if your value is money, that's what you're going to be looking for. So that's why it starts with you. But if you see values in yourself, then you'll tend to look for values in other people. That's just the way it is. I mean, it's facts. And that's what those laws in life, that people have to understand what those laws are. Because the laws is actually the codes. Give you another example. Like, if anybody know what a watermill is, a watermill actually does a whole lot of shit. It helps with flowers, you know what I'm saying? If you're looking to grind, pretty much, I think they do textile too. I'm not too sure. But I'm saying this to say, fuck that. You know what? I think I'll give you one better. Money. You can't make money chasing money. You tell me who's making money just to make money. You got to give something, bro. The exchange of what you're giving, or the popularity in what you're publishing, that's what's going to get you money. But you're giving something. Lil Wayne, great music. Whoever the fuck, 50 Cent. When that nigga came out as rich, whatever the fuck, get rich or die trying, that shit was hard. You know, like, if your lyricist may not be that hard for you in that way, but every song was a fucking hit. Kanye West, like, none of these motherfuckers just blow up just to blow up. Like, what the fuck? They're not getting money just not doing anything. You don't make money just chasing money. Shit. Nigga, even if you're a scammer, even if you're killing or robbing people, that's what you got to do to get it. In other words, like, you always got to do something else to get it. You know, so those are principles. Those are laws. And I feel like that's where a lot of people go left, because they don't understand. They trying to reach for it just by grabbing it like this. And when you do that, you actually will not get it, because that's not the way it works. Those are rules, man. You gotta know the rules of the game, my players. Are you a true player? You know, man? Are you a true player, motherfucker? Come on, man. I'm playing to win, baby. I know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? But unfortunately, due to toxicity and lack of self-esteem, what you see in the dating, or a lot of, you know, the relationship you're seeing between the masculine and the feminine energy, it's the battle between the sexes. You know, it's that, you know, seeking for power, validation, and all of that derives from being hurt. But anyway, so that's why it's important to not only identify or understand gender, but you also got to understand how the feminine acts, right? You know, the feminine energy, you know, it's emotional. But like I always say, a lot of people, when they talk about being emotional, quite often they feel like there's no intelligence in it. Oh, you're just being too emotional, man. Like it's almost like saying you need to start, you know what I'm saying, to balance it out, have a little bit of intellect in it. Well, my niggas, let me be the first to tell you, or maybe not the first. You probably already know that there is such a thing as emotional intelligence. Them being emotional simply means they operate based on their feeling, but that doesn't mean they don't have any intelligence or they're stupid. And logical too. This is a fucking illusion. If you're gonna be logical in this world, my nigga, that's not gonna help you either. You know what I'm saying? Not to say logic is not good, or not to say emotions are not good. What I'm saying is you need to have a healthy understanding and balance between the two. You know what I'm saying? By you saying the feminine energy is emotional, that says to you, and I'll give you a perfect example. Like I was telling my man, right? Like, and let's just say she says yes to you now, and then literally 2 seconds later she said no to you. Like, ah, goddamn. Well, that's what emotional is. That doesn't make her crazy. I mean, that's how she vibes. She goes with the flow, how she's feeling. That's why, well, you know what I'm saying? You should know that too. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's why sometimes I'm gonna leave that one go. No, I'm gonna leave that one alone. Hmm. But I'm saying this to say, right? That's why sometimes a woman would not give you sex if she's not feeling comfortable. See, the way she opened up to sex is through her emotions. You know what I'm saying? And that's how she opens herself up. And for us, you know, you already know it's different. You already know, nigga. You know what I'm saying? We open up sexually first before we open our heart. You know what I'm saying? And that's why a lot of hoes, they know that shit too. You know what I'm saying? They be like, okay, girl, yeah, I'm going to get him to do it. Suck his dick real good, and then you open up. I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? That is part of your, you know what I'm saying? That's why it's important for you to master yourself too. And this is all part of you loving yourself, mastering yourself. You know, not putting a bitch first doesn't mean you are negating her, doesn't mean she's below you. It's none of that shit. In fact, it means for you to better appreciate her, you gotta love yourself first. It's the same idea of you loving yourself first. That's why a career, choosing, not a career, I meant to say your purpose. It's important for you as a masculine energy because your career allows you to open up. That's your passion. So as you open up now, then that's why your passion got to come first. Not because she's not valuable, not because of bitch and shit. No, it just, that's the way it goes. For you to maintain that, you know, positive and negative energy, that polarity. Because if you don't do that, I'll give you a perfect example. If you make a bitch your whole fucking life, she's not going to appreciate you, my nigga. It's not going to happen. Because that's not the way she that's not the way she functions. The feminine energy needs the male. Like, that's why you never see when they tell you like women love bad guys. or on the surface, that's what it looks like. And even the feminine energy may not know or explain it to you. You know what I'm saying? But it's not truly the bad person, but it's the bad motherfucker, the nigga that don't give a fuck. The nigga that's being himself. That masculinity attracts her. Just like when you see a bitch in her femininity with the makeup, you know what I'm saying, the toes done, the nails done. Yeah, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Looking sexy and all that shit. She's radiating herself. So for her too, she got to be in her femininity to attract you as a masculine. That's why I don't give a fuck how intellectual you may want to be, bitch. You might want to put some makeup on. Now, granted, I'm not saying that's, you know what I'm saying. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying, you got to maintain that femininity. That's truly what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Yes, sir. But anyway, what the fuck was I going to talk about? So the last time I talked about going beyond your boundaries, right? And I wanted to expand a little bit on that because that is very important, because, especially for men and fucking for the masculine energy and the feminine energy, you got to go beyond your boundaries. Meaning, you got to become, what's the word that I'm looking for? I guess vulnerable, right? Because the whole purpose, right? Like I always tell you guys, right? So when you have the masculine and the feminine coming together, now you as the masculine energy, you want to experience the side of your femininity to her. But for you to do that too, you got to go beyond your boundaries. You got to allow her to do what she does. And vice versa. And she also needs to encourage that from you. You know what I'm saying? By you being the great, again, you got to put yourself first. For her too. A woman who's not in her femininity, you're not in your power. It's the total opposite of what a lot of the feminine energy thinks. They think being masculine is being, you know what I'm saying, that's where the power lies. That's not true. Mm-mm. Not true at all. You're not in your power. In other words, you're not sexy. You're not radiating. Because your power, it comes in your, you know what I'm saying, in your radiance, in your brightness. So if you're not in your femininity, man, you're just wasting your time. If you're trying to be like a nigga, like I said, you know what I'm saying, and you could call it whatever the fuck you want, right? Because what we're technically seeing is like a lot of feminine energy, unfortunately, and I already talked about this. There has been an evolution through times, which is great. There's nothing wrong with it. A lot of us, like the man that I am versus when my dad was around or the guy that my dad was, it's two different things. Like for me, I feel like I'm more fulfilled, not better, but more fulfilled in the sense I have long hair. I'm in touch with my femininity, but yet I still maintain my masculinity. I change my son's diaper, meaning I'm bonding with this motherfucker. I'm nurturing him. We have a greater connection. You know what I'm saying? Guys are listening to music. You're growing your hair. You know what I'm saying? I remember when I was 16, nigga, I have both of my ears pierced, nigga. Straight like that. I was on my pretty shit. I was in my pretty boy shit. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I got older. Fuck that shit. But anyway, you know what I'm saying? And when I did it, you know what I'm saying? Of course, I wanted to look cute and all that shit, but it wasn't nothing about being gay or, you know what I'm saying, none of that shit. And besides, you know what I'm saying, all of our ancestors, you know what I'm saying, body, I mean, tattoos, piercing, and all that shit, that's what we do as African niggas. So therefore, we had always experienced both sides of us. However, what I'm really calling the evolution, it's not really an evolution, but I'm referring to us living in the Western world, because when it comes to African spirituality, it's totally different. So you're dealing with, you know, you let's put some shit in perspective. Everything that I'm even talking about now, I'm talking about it because we are living in a Western civilization. That's when you'll see motherfuckers talk about, you know, you gotta let your ego go. Or they're saying, you know what I'm saying, you gotta battle. But if you, like, there's no fucking African spirituality that even mention anything about your ego. Because your ego was never a fucking issue. Because the type of information that you were actually going by didn't allow your ego to act fucked up or as crazy, because your ego is protecting you. So when you're living in a society where greed is appreciated, then your ego at this point needs to protect you. So therefore you are doing egotistical shit, but it's not really your ego it doesn't know any better. Because it's the type of knowledge that you have. Now the ego has to act a certain way. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'll give you a perfect example. If you were living in the world of, let's just say, everybody's important. We all need one another. A doctor is not greater than a motherfucking butcher. Is it? And how so? Don't the doctor gotta eat? So the doctor's doing some shit, the butcher's doing something else, nigga. At the end of the day, we all need each other. You wouldn't give a fuck about being a doctor or not. Then you would seek for something that you love. Then your ego would operate differently. But that's not the world that you're living in, nigga. You know, it's greed. It's competition. So of course your ego is going to be that way. So what we're seeing, even when I'm talking about the evolution of the masculine and all that shit, that is in response to this motherfucking world. Because that's why, even if you go back to African spirituality or our fucking ancestors, we always help out. We always did, like, you know what I'm saying? It was always that way. Do you see what I'm saying? But yet, we also maintain our masculinity and we also maintain our femininity. Because I was looking at this documentary, right? Where, you know, the women has to be initiated to become, you know what I'm saying, as they started to become a woman. So they understood the gender role. Do you see what I'm saying? Without depriving themselves of either their masculinity or their femininity. What was happening in the Western world, you know what I'm saying, is that a lot of the guys there, you were taught not to express your emotions. So therefore, your understanding of masculinity, you depriving yourself or suppressing your femininity, which is not healthy at all. At all. Obviously. Do you see what I'm saying? But in the mix of all that, in this Western world, because you also got to look at it that way, right? So there's a natural evolution that is taking place, right? And it's very beneficial for the masculine energy, but unfortunately, not so much for the feminine energy. And I'll give you a perfect example, right? And I was watching this shit. It's like a man would have a lot of money and still marry a bitch that don't have any money. But as soon as a bitch have a lot of money, she's not gonna do that. Generally speaking, and of course, not everybody's the same. Niggas, come on, don't hurt yourself. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not saying that's how a lot of women are, but for the most part, then they're looking for their equal. You see it all the time. Women are talking about that shit. They're not gonna date down. That's what dating down is. Or they're not gonna settle for anything. That's what the whole Kevin Samuel shit was telling you guys about. And that's what I really like about him too. Because he was exposing a lot of that shit. So, as part of that evolution, unfortunately, just like I was talking about, the feminine energy is because instead of exploring their masculinity and still maintain their femininity, what they're doing is they have becoming more masculine. So they don't have a healthy balance. And because of that unhealthy balance, it is gonna, because you need the masculine and the feminine. That's what the gay relationship is showing you. So therefore, when you're not a healthy feminine, you're not gonna have a relationship. It's not gonna work. You could say whatever the fuck you want to say about yourself. You're a strong feminine. Motherfuckers are intimidated by you. Whatever makes you feel good, bitch. But that's not the case at all. You're just not attractive. You're not, what I'm saying? There's no polarity. You're just not attractive at all, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know for me, I'll give you a perfect example. Like, a doughboy is not attractive to me. Do you see what I'm saying? And I don't give a fuck. If that same doughboy, let's just say the way she's dressing up and all that shit, let's just say she put on some shit sexy, though. The whole thing will change. I'll bet you that. I'll bet you that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, God damn, girl, I didn't know you looking that good. I was like, yeah. So, again, has absolutely nothing to do with, being, I don't know, strong. None of that shit. So, again, that's why it's important, to understand the masculine and the feminine energy and how they come together. But most importantly, I was going back to, this is going to be pretty much an extension to when I was talking about, you have to go beyond your boundaries. You got to. In fact, that's the idea when people tell you, you know what, if a married couple, right, they would tell you, try not to go to bed mad if you guys were mad at each other. And that's why it's important for you to understand, too. Let's just say, how the masculine energy opens up. You know what I'm saying? If I'm closed off, that's why, you know what I'm saying? I mean, there's nothing I'm telling y'all niggas. Y'all already know that. You know what I'm saying? You suck that nigga dick, you get this nigga to be open. You know what I'm saying? But at that moment, you may not feel like doing it. Because obviously you're mad at him and he's mad at you. So I'm saying all of that to say, you got to go beyond your boundaries, man. You got to do the shit that you're not comfortable doing if you're looking to maintain that polarity. And vice versa for the nigga too. You know what I'm saying? You already know, let's just say, you know what I'm saying, the way she opens up, it's not going to, you can't touch her. Because if she's not feeling that way, you have to break her, that cycle. You got to change her feeling. Then she's going to open up sexually to you. I don't know, if you got to sing, you got to, you know what I'm saying, write a motherfucking poem or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Anything that will trigger that emotion to change, that's what you would have to do first. You know what I'm saying? Your girl's not going to be mad and you're going to grab her ass, nigga. She's going to be more mad. You know what I'm saying? That shit would work for you though. If you mad, this bitch just grab your dick. You're like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? That's different for us. That's what I'm saying. The masculine energy and the feminine energy, they are different. And it's crazy, you know what I'm saying, when we don't honor those differences. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand why people are trying to be equal to one another. I just don't get it. We complement each other. In other words, that's the union. That's the sexual act outside of the physical sexual art. Act. That's the sexual. That's the union. So it has to occur in all levels, and that's what the Kabbalion, or even not just the Kabbalion, tantric motherfucking Buddhism, when they showing you all those fucking orgies around you, they're showing you the multiple connection. It's nothing physical. You know what I'm saying? Well, shit, nigga, I ain't gonna lie to you though. At first, I'm like, well, I don't want to say that's why I wanted to learn about it. You know what I'm saying? But a part of me was like, oh, man, what's going on there? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, whoa, let me figure out what's happening. And there's nothing like that. But the sex, what they're talking about, is the union of the masculine and the feminine energy, and it takes place in every level in your life. In yourself, you have to. That's why they tell you gotta love the woman at your home first. Meaning the women in you first before you love somebody else. Meaning you have to cater to your emotions, embrace your emotion. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're using in mythology, because mythology, we use a lot of those languages. You know what I'm saying? When people would tell you, I may tell motherfuckers, you got to kill your mom and dad first before you become a man. It's not the physical action of killing your mom and dad, but it means you have to become independent for you to become a man. It doesn't mean you have to reject what they gave you either. In fact, you embrace what they gave you, but you got to make it yours. That's what becoming independent is. Not suppressing other people, not saying you don't need nobody. That's not the case. In fact, there's no way you're not going to need it. You're going to need everybody, nigga. It's an illusion to think you don't need nobody. Even you, let's just say you were in the fucking island all by yourself. You need somebody. It doesn't have to be somebody, but guess what? You probably have to kill a fish. You gotta kill whoever the fuck you gotta kill, right? You're gonna need something. The trees, the air that you breathe in, motherfucker. The idea of thinking you don't need nobody, that's fucking crazy. And if you think just having your money, just like they say, if poor people, you know what I'm saying, if it wasn't for poor people, rich people would have to eat their money. You could have all the money that you want, but if all the restaurants are closed, there's no supermarket open, nigga. You tell me what you're gonna do with that fucking money, bitch. What you gonna do with it? You probably have to eat it. You know what I'm saying? I know, I get it. Because a lot of people sometimes, they came from being super codependent. Then when they're finding their powers, I get it. It's the process. It's all good, baby. You're not doing anything wrong. It's part of the process. But just know, it goes beyond that. That's why the Buddhists use the term interdependence. You maintain your independence, but yet we all need one another. And that's the healthy way of doing it. For me to serve my community, I got to serve myself first. Me coming out speaking about this shit, I'm serving you motherfuckers. I am for the community. I am for the divine. The divine is the greater, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So this is all about the community for me. And in African spirituality too, they teach you that shit. Because I'm not teaching this shit and talking to my motherfucking self. Well, right now I am, but niggas, seriously? You know nigga, I talk to myself a lot, trust me. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be an issue at all. But the issue with that, what I notice in a lot of people, is that, you know what I'm saying, it's like a band playing. You know what I'm saying? You got to do your part good though. Don't step out and trying to help the community if you lacking, because you're doing, not only you doing yourself a disservice, and you're not truly serving the community. That's why it all starts with you. But the you that it start with is not to be selfish. That's why self-love and selfishness are two different things. You know what I'm saying? Self-love allows you to love other people. Selfishness, you just want to get the benefit. You don't give a fuck about other people. You're stepping on people's toes. You're laughing at people's, let's just say, mistakes, or you know what I'm saying. You just don't give a fuck. You're just burning people. You're burning your bridges, baby. You know what I'm saying? It's that's what greed is. And a lot of our society is based out of greed. Like greediness is fucking crazy. You know, that's why you see all these guys are coming out now talking about their contract. Like, can you imagine even Michael Jackson came out and talk about like you know what the fuck those record companies are doing? That's crazy. Michael Jackson, bro. Like Michael Jackson, now, nigga. Michael Jackson, nigga. Like, do you know who this nigga? Listen, I was a kid. This motherfucker was an inspiration for me. I was dancing like that nigga, doing all that shit. Seeing that shit in my daughter, it's like this nigga is like for all the kids, man. Every generations. I don't give a fuck any kid. You're gonna see Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson, nigga. So just to show you, these motherfuckers don't give a fuck. You know, that's greed, motherfucker. Dave Chappelle, fucking Prince. Who else? Who else was talking some shit? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, you already know about Ye. You know what I'm saying? But god damn. We praise that kind of shit, man. That nigga tell you, hey man, you signed a contract, babe. Hey, I was on you. Like, damn, that's it. It's nothing personal, baby. It's business. You know what I'm saying? So niggas is another way of legalizing, you know what I'm saying, toxicity and greediness. Oh, you are in the belly of the beast, baby. You know what I'm saying? You are in the belly of the beast. You know what I'm saying? Because that's why, like, when you are spiritually undeveloped, then you identify yourself with the materials. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, becoming spiritually developed doesn't mean you dissociate yourself from material, or you just use it for what it is. You know what that is, but you know you a lot more than that. That's why you can't be greedy. That's why if you're in touch with your divine essence, come on, nigga. That's why spirituality helps you to be a fucking better human being. See, the shit that people are talking about or want to do, a spiritual person does these things naturally because of his divine essence. Even the shit I'm telling you about loving yourself now before you love somebody else. So those are codes and laws. But anyway, let's get back to um, you gotta be uncomfortable. In other words, you gotta be vulnerable. And going beyond your boundaries, that's what it does. And by doing so, you are experiencing a whole different aspect of yourself too. You know what I'm saying? Like a true the union of the masculine and the feminine energy when it's done correctly, niggas ecstasy, man. That type of experience is ecstasy, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like shit. I know I'm fucking Trinity anyway. Trinity's getting fucked. She's on my list. Now, when you see that nigga, I don't know about y'all niggas. When I see that type of love, that type of connection, that should turn me on, nigga. Like, what the fuck am I gonna do not having something like that? Like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Then I see niggas you playing games, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You losing. But I get it. Again, you know what I'm saying? Because naturally, we all, you know what I'm saying, want to put our guards down. It's only after we got hurt, man. So really, people are closed off instead of being naturally open, which is your true nature. Your true nature is to be open. So now you have a society that is built on people that are closed off. Now you have a whole fucking toxicity, you know what I'm saying, the hate, anxiety, and all the bullshit that the Gnostics are telling you about. The lust, the greediness, the all that shit because you closed off. But anyway, I got something coming up on the Gnostics. Y'all gonna love it. What are you doing? So again, the idea is never, you know what I'm saying, when we talk about, you know what I'm saying, your purpose comes first. It doesn't mean you are putting women down. You know what I'm saying? Because I was having a conversation with a brother, and I felt like he didn't quite get it. Because, I mean, I saw his natural response was pretty much, oh, you a selfish motherfucker. I'm like, oh, no, you don't get it. So even when you're telling somebody you gotta love yourself before, that doesn't mean you're not selfish at all. In fact, far from that. I mean, far, 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 far from that. So again, to summarize pretty much, because we is about to be an hour. To summarize, you know what I'm saying, being going beyond your boundaries simply means that you would have to get vulnerable. You're gonna have to do the shit that you don't like. Let's just say when you're mad, because naturally, when you're mad, you automatically closed off. That's why you gotta remain yourself. You gotta master yourself too. When that happens, you gotta reopen yourself automatically. Or if it doesn't happen automatically, but just know, you know what I'm saying, and that's going to happen to all of us. That's why this type of life, I know for me, that's why my devotion comes in, because the growth, you know what I'm saying, you gotta water your garden. You gotta keep the growth. It's like it definitely happened, but you gotta be on top of it. You constantly, you know what I'm saying, that's what the growth is. You constantly um, sustaining that. You're constantly getting better too. You're constantly being open, because the goal is you gotta stay open. And true love happen in that openness. That's why I tell motherfuckers, yo, you gotta love with a broken heart, man. Learn how to love with a broken heart. You learn how to love with a broken heart. Listen, man. Listen. Listen. If you're gonna play the game, baby, you know what I'm saying? Let's play the game. And when you're doing your shadow work, pretty much, you're getting to the root of what caused you to be closed off. Then you open yourself up. Now you got to make sure you keep you keep yourself open up. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't want to fix it and then go back to being closed off again. Right? And as you open up, guess what's happening? It's being reflected in your humanity. It's being reflected in your day-to-day activities. That's how now you could forgive somebody. Doesn't mean you're stupid. You know what I'm saying? You accept the motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? If you got to move on, you move on. But that's why they tell you too. Even when you hold grudge, it's not the person that you're hurting. It's yourself, nigga. It's yourself. Because the person that you're holding a grudge against may not even give a fuck about you, nigga. Now, just for my cigar smokers, man. Yo, when you do this, you gotta try that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You gotta tap the, you know what I'm saying, the part that you're smoking into your drink. What it does, it allows it for you to smoke it a little bit. I mean, the fuck? Did I hear gunshots? It allows it to burn slowly too, and it adds a little bit of flavor into whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying? But that's, you know what I'm saying? I want my bullshit shit. But anyway, we were talking about the boundaries, right? You gotta, you know, the idea of just saying you don't want to go to bed mad, you know what I'm saying? Although because your natural response, and that's for everybody, you know what I'm saying? When you mad, nigga, shit, come on, man. Automatically. But when you do your shadow work, it's for you to be conscious of what the situation is. When it happens, you know how to open up. You don't let it, you know what I'm saying? Again, just like I said, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna heal your wounded child to keep it wounded. The idea of healing it is so that it doesn't, you know what I'm saying, get hurt again. And if it does get hurt, you know what I'm saying, you know what to do automatically. So therefore, dealing with the masculine and feminine energy, you know, you gotta stay open at all times. And if it happens for a short period of time, it's okay. It happens naturally, nigga. Shit, we're human. I get you. That's why it's good for you to acknowledge your emotions, because you don't want to suppress them. When the occult is telling you, and this is what a lot of people don't understand, when they telling you you have to overcome your emotions, overcoming your emotions doesn't mean you're suppressing them. First of all, you have to acknowledge it. That's how you gotta feel. If you're feeling pain, embrace your pain, nigga. But you don't let it stop you. You're not lying to yourself by saying you're not hurt. I am hurt, but I'm not gonna let the hurt me. If that makes any sense. Do you see what I'm saying? That's why you have to embody your body. You have to embrace everything about you. That's how you master the self. Again, you have to be with the woman that is in your house first before you find another woman from the external world. That's where the whole idea about your ego and all that shit, you have to embrace all of yourself. The minute there's an enemy within you, just like, I don't know, what's it Jesus that said that shit? Any kingdom that's divided among itself, it's not gonna survive, bro. It's not. That's another way of also saying when you separate your, let's just say, your physical self from your true self, from your spirituality, nigga, you wildin'. Like a motherfucker too, I should say. You know what I mean? So, listen, man. You know what I'm saying? Learn how to love with a broken heart. Stay open. You know what I'm saying? If you get to be closed off a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Open that shit right back up, baby. You know what I'm saying? If not, then it's gonna turn you into something else too. And a lot of people that are closed off, that's where these people have jealousy. I mean, those jealous people. Those are a lot from your what you're calling your haters or closed off people. Oh, why is that person? Why not me? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Did you put the work that I put in? Or were you sucking dick while I was working? I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Because you closed off, and once you closed off too, you become blind. Because you're not looking with your inner self. Oh, I got some shit coming up, man. We're going to tap into all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Mhm. And I think either tomorrow or Friday, I'm going to be talking about the state of ignorance. Because in the past, I talked about the science of ignorance in terms of how it relates, you know what I'm saying, to your state of consciousness. But this time, I'm just going to focus on the state of ignorance. That shit, well, in so many ways, I already give it away because it's based off of you being closed off. Do you see what I'm saying? And that's where all the nastiness comes from. Even somebody who's nasty, even in their words or anything like that, someone who's closed off. In other words, we say to that person, he's not a happy person. Not happy at all, man. Yo, sorry for your challenges, bro. You know what I'm saying? But hey, man, you know what I'm saying? But the difference between somebody who's open is not that they don't go through challenges, but it's their perspective of what their challenge is. Like I always tell people, being optimistic doesn't mean you don't look at the negativity. In fact, if you're not looking at the negativity, you're not being optimistic at all. But to be optimistic, it means you have an optimistic outcome or perspective of the outcome. Let's just say your mom and dad was not there for you. It's not for you to not to acknowledge that they was not there, but guess what, man? Because they were not there, I was able to do this. I was able to do that. Or, it taught me something. That's why in one of my recordings, I talked about honoring your mom and dad, regardless of good or bad. In fact, the very statement of honoring your parents is deep. Because we're not talking about the good or the bad, but the good and the bad serves you. If you don't see how something bad serves you, that's because you're hurting. So therefore, you have not seen beyond the pain. And a lot of people are, for the most part, are pretty much hurting, and they don't see the lesson in the pain. So therefore, you have not transmuted that pain. The spiritual master knows how to transmute. Meaning, again, which pure spiritual master or the fucking human, the spiritually developed nigga, you know how to cope with your emotion. You understand, I may be mad, a little frustrated, nigga, relax. Take a deep breath, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Puff, nigga, real quick. It's just puff, nigga. Mm, mm, mm. Now we good. You feel me? You understand? You know what I'm saying? And that's what mastering your emotions is pretty much all about. It's not denying it. It's to cope with it. It's to accept it. First, you got to embrace it. It's there. And that's what, when you go see a shrink or whoever the fuck you're talking to, they trying to get you to acknowledge the pain. And sometimes a lot of people don't even acknowledge the pain. Meaning you just shut off and you pretty much shut off and you don't even know why. And for most people, they're trying to avoid why. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You tough. Now it's being translated as you being tough now. It's not true, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like when I hear women say, you know what I'm saying, can love pay my bills? Like that's the most craziest statement I've ever heard. What the fuck do you mean? Is money now justifying everything? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, can you use air to pay your bills? Does that mean you don't need air? I mean, because can you show up at the motherfucking bank and with some air, like, nigga, you know what I'm saying? Can I make a deposit? No, so what the fuck? One has nothing to do with the fucking other. But most likely, if you are justifying money for a lack of emotion, you know what I'm saying? That's you being weak, but you think you being strong, because that has nothing to do with nothing. Do you see what I'm saying? It has absolutely nothing to do with nothing. What the fuck? I remember this bitch, right? I tell her, you know what, we cool, you know what I'm saying? We don't need to talk, don't call me, do none of that shit. And then I said, shit. Motherfucker told me, you know what I'm saying? So what? You know what I'm saying? Last time I didn't talk to a motherfucker, my bill was still paid. My good. Keep paying your bills, bitch. Keep paying your bills. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? I get it. You heard. I get it. But, you know what I'm saying? You just gotta pretend. I get it. You ain't doing anything wrong. So again, these are the regular shit that's taking place in life. And with spirituality now, you have a better understanding of what's happening in you. And that's what the occult is all about. That's what the occult is all fucking about. You're not going to be a spiritual being, obviously. The thing is, once you get in touch with your divine essence, you know what I'm saying, you're becoming, how can I say this? Your connection now at this point, of course, it's like it becomes more than just your body or the material world. That's why your higher your consciousness, even your understanding of your body is going to be different. And I'm going to talk about that too, because I'm going to talk about the Gnostics. Because the Gnostics, you know what I'm saying, they're, to the pure, all is pure. So therefore, even to look at this world on a material level, it's a pessimistic, it's a one-sided view. It's not a harmony, it's not a balanced perspective. But we, it's coming. You already know, I shan't. But I'll go beyond your boundaries, motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of getting hurt. Be vulnerable, bitch. It's okay. You're going to be all right. You know what I'm saying? But with that being said, make sure you find the right person too, though. You know what I mean? And before I go, you know what I'm saying? And when you are in your element, now you're truly giving to give for the sake of it. You know what I'm saying? Like when I do with something you love, I'm not seeking for validation. Now, do I welcome the validation? Yeah, of course. Why the fuck not? But just know if I don't get it, nigga, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Is it not? I'm doing my purpose, nigga. You know what I'm saying? I'm in my lane. You know what I'm saying? That's why even when my introduction, I said, "What's going on, party people?" I'm partying already. Obviously. Anyway, enough for the night. You already know it's nothing but love. Blah. Alibaba.